Welcome to my Fab 50s and Beyond, the podcast where confidence, style, and life's best moments just keep getting better. I'm your host, Soretta L. Bell, here to share inspiring stories, expert tips, and real talk to help you live boldly, look fabulous, and feel amazing at any age. So grab your tea or your glass of wine, and let's step into this fabulous chapter together. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining me on my fabulous 50s and beyond journey. Today, I'm going to talk to you about skincare, and I brought my personal esthetician and a good friend of mine. So, can you describe who you are? Tell us a little bit about yourself, because you're not quite 50 yet.
That's right. I'm almost.
Just turned 40. It's all good. It's all good. So if you could just give us a little background about yourself and how you became an esthetician that you are, one of the most fabulous, and I'm so glad to have met you.
You're way too kind, and I'm loving your little puppy. Right? He's loving on me. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm loving the vibes. This place, the candles are lit. It's all nice. It's all nice in here. It's cute. And and it came with a puppy.
It came with my bag.
I don't mind him at all. Yes. Anyway, she calls me Kiss. My friends call me Kiss or Kisty, but my name is Kistia Dam. I am a licensed esthetician here in Georgia. I was a corporate girly for many, many years, and that just wasn't conducive when I had my son. And I wanted a career that had flexibility and something I was passionate about. I have always been passionate about skincare because I like to say I have complicated skin. Personally, I was one of those kids with the cystic acne, and just because I had bangs, and then I thought the bangs would cover up the acne, and it was just a vicious cycle of oil and nasty on my face. And and no one in my family suffered from acne. I was the only one, so I had to figure it out on my own. I feel like, we didn't have the wealth of information that we do now. We didn't have the TikTok. So I was putting toothpaste on my pimples and Noxzema,
clear skin, that
right, scrubbing with the St. Ives and trying to scrub the pimples away. Luckily, skin ebbs and flows, and I started going to esthetician, learning about skin. I was very interested in learning all the tips and tricks, especially for someone with acneic skin. And my skin definitely subsided as I got out of puberty. And after my son, I went through puberty again. So it's been a cycle
that women go through, the ebbs and the flows.
The ebbs and the flows.
Once we get through one thing, it's like, oh, I'm feeling really good now.
Right.
What? I'm having
Exactly.
Menopause changes the game.
It does. And a lot of my clients are at that stage, and they're experiencing puberty 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever, with hormonal changes. So I was lucky enough to have a great esthetician, Stacy, and she saw that, I had a passion for this and was like, hey, why not try this out? And I did, and I was lucky enough to be able to work with her now at her med spa, Revision Skincare, here in Atlanta, in Sandy Springs specifically. And I focus my efforts on education. Mm-hmm. Especially for women in this range. These are my women. These are my people, and a lot of women who have had amazing skin their whole lives. And now they're like, what's going on? I have to actually exert some effort here, do some things that I never had to do before. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why is my skin doing this? So it's a lot of education, understanding that as we age, our cell turnover is slower. We're going to have more buildup. Especially if you're not using sunscreen, you may have, more hyperpigmentation, or if you're having some hormonal acne. I hyperpigment no matter what. Mm-hmm. And my dermatologist, Dr. Tiffany Clay, she posted something recently on her socials that some people are just prone to hyperpigmentation. I don't pick, I don't prod, I don't probe. And if I have a blemish, my melanocytes are gonna go to town. So, and it's frustrating for a lot of people, and it's frustrating for me, but it's just one of those things. So learning how to combat it, learning how to mitigate it, and learning how to treat it. So education is a big thing for me. Helping people build a routine slowly that didn't have a routine before, because a lot of people come in and they're like, I've never had to do anything but wash my face.
Or some people, I've known people who maybe they didn't have to wash their face. They just always...
I just do the shampoo trickles down and that's it, whatever. And in my office is no judgment zone. I try to meet people where they're at, and I'm not going to try to throw a million things on you. We want to build your routine low and slow and take your time to get to the point where you can see some results. So that's my longer about way of talking about myself and my journey and how I've come to be. And I love it. It's my passion. I'm passionate about it. And
it shows. I mean,
thank you.
Since I've known you when you were in school, even, I knew you were passionate because you were dedicated and intentional. So then when you graduated and you were working, I was like, let me give you a try. And then so for the last year and a couple of months, it's been excellent. My skin looks good. I come to you faithfully.
You do.
It's part of my self-care. Self-care is a big thing for me, especially in my 50s and beyond. And I also feel like it's a luxury that I can't give up. It's a luxury that seems like a luxury, but it also is a necessity more than anything. Self-care is a necessity. And I want women on this journey with me to understand that. Don't feel bad about taking that time. And part of feeling good is looking good. Mm-hmm. Lately, all of my posts have been about superficial looking good and feeling good, but
there's a deeper message behind that.
Definitely. And I plan to dive deeper with this podcast as well as my socials about things that are very much plaguing women in their 50s and beyond. But you start on the surface.
Well, first of all,
what we see.
First of all, I want to say thank you for seeing that in me, because you've been in this industry 25 years. So I'm sure you've seen estheticians, professionals, all type of people, and to trust your face with me. And you are a forward facing person. You are, a figure. And I truly appreciate that, because you could have gone anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Yeah. And for that, I thank you. And for that, I thank you. But with that, to your point about self-care and why it's important, we only get one body, we only get one face, and we prevent our face for the world. I don't think it's superficial to want to care for yourself and put yourself on a pedestal, because mom guilt is real, grandma guilt is real, wife guilt is real, woman guilt is real. Like, oh, am I being whatever?
Too vain, because even now, like watching myself or being in front of a camera trying to talk, it is a guilt.
Right.
But also, like I said, with my skin, I want to make sure that it presents well. And even as a makeup artist for years, that has been my calling card, is to make sure, because I also don't want to intimidate, but I want to look my best so that people trust what I'm doing on them.
You want to be a credible source. Right.
Exactly. Because that's all it comes down to, is people see what they see. And that's what we present in the beginning. You'll get to know people on a deeper level, but the surface is part of the realness of our society. So,
and it's good. Not taking yourself too serious. Even for me, some of my content, we talking about getting better content. I'm not an influencer. I'm an elder millennial and just trying my best out here. Okay. But one of those, just be honest. My face is not always going to be, oh, I'm an esthetician, I'm going to have perfect skin all the time. In our group, we're always doing treatments on each other. Hey, pop this zit, do this, because if skin was an easy process, if this was something that was snap of a finger could be fixed, I wouldn't have a job. There wouldn't be a million products on the shelf and billion-dollar industry. Yeah. So unfortunately, there's no cure for aging, but you can age gracefully. And I don't think aging gracefully means giving up.
I mean, take care of ourselves. And what would you say for women who have neglected taking care of themselves, and now in their 50s and maybe even 40s or 60s, they're saying, you know what? I want to look better. I want to feel better about how my skin looks. I don't have to just put up with these things. what is something that you would say is a basic routine to get started?
First, I would say to them, it's not too late to do something now. It's not too late to make your current situation better. Because for me, the number one thing for looking youthful is having a clear complexion. And I don't necessarily mean clear blemishes or, because we'll have those sporadically, which is like an even skin tone. That makes you look more youthful. It's just the fact of the matter. But if someone comes to me and they want to start from the beginning, first I want to meet them where they're at, right? If you're not a regimented person, if you can't do a 10-step process, then you're going to waste your time, and you're going to waste your money on buying products that you know you're not, and you're going to get frustrated. For one, the first things first, managing expectations, being honest. You're not going to just start using a product and overnight you're going to see results, because even with, medical grade skincare that we carry in the office, all of these things are tested 12-week period. You know what I mean? So it takes time. You need to give your cells time to turn over. You need to give the product time to actually work. A lot of people are like, oh, I tried it for a week. He ain't do nothing. Yeah, but well, you didn't give it a chance. So the number one thing, consistency is key. You have to be consistent. If you stop, it's not going to work. It sucks. It's just one of those things.
It is.
But why not? Why not be consistent with something with you? You love you.
I want you to love you. I love you.
Yes, if you can't be consistent with anything, be consistent with yourself. And especially if it's a area that you don't like, if you're tired of the dark circles, or if you're tired of the hyperpigmentation, well, we can get there, we can manage it, but it's going to take time, and you can't expect overnight success. And so I try to manage expectations. I try to, really drive home the principle of consistency is key. And we're going to start building a routine that you can actually do and not waste your money.
Yes.
And your time. So let's start there. Yeah.
And then a lot of times I don't think people realize that you have these products for months and months. If you haven't used them, their efficiency goes down. And
they expire. They expire.
You can't go and be like, oh, just a year ago, and use the rest of it. It's no longer anything.
Right. So use the products you're buying. Don't stop wasting your money, Chad. Stop wasting your money. So I have several women who are in that perimenopause or menopausal stage that has never had any skin issues their whole life, that are starting out on a journey, and I like to start them. Some of the major issues that group of women is facing is loss of collagen, skin elasticity, fine lines, dryness happens a lot. So how can we manage that? What modalities can we use in office? What products can you use at home? Because it's partnership. Yeah. You come to see me every 4 to 6 weeks. I do my thing. I send you out glowing, and then you come back looking dusty because you ain't did nothing at home.
I'm gonna get this weekend. She does it, but then after that,
right. And I was like, hey, it's a journey. We're a partnership. I'm gonna do my part. I just need you to do your part. And like I say, we're not always going to be perfect. I try to meet everyone where they're at. There's a no judgment zone in my treatment room, because I get it. Sometimes I don't want to do the things or wash it. Sometimes I lay there staring into the abyss, like I really need to get up and take this sunscreen off my face. I really need to get up, but I want to go to sleep. Lord, I am tired. So I get it. I do, but don't make every day like that. Have one day like that you do that. We're not going to be perfect. But I just really try to push those key things to my clients.
So when you say a routine and getting very, I would say, consistent with the routine, what are some of the major steps that in that routine should they consist of?
Yes.
Tell me what you see, even if it's a basic 3-step routine, what are the things that they should be doing?
Yeah. Basic, cleanse, treating whatever that issue is, whether it's acne, whether it's hyperpigmentation, whether it's drying. You want to have an area where you treat those specific targeted issues, and then SPF. Right? Do we need sunscreen? We don't need sunscreen, right?
I was like, always, we got melanin. And now we are facing skin cancer at higher rates.
Yeah.
And like you told me before, passing away from it because we really don't know what the signs are or to recognize it.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't burn as easy, but we do get skincare and we do not protect our skin as much because we've been taught that, no,
I don't need sunscreen. So every day of my life, I am pushing sunscreen. When I tell you I love you, and if I love you, I'm gonna tell you to wear sunscreen. I'm gonna be annoying. I'm gonna ask if you're wearing sunscreen. I'm gonna say, hey, we've been on the sun a while. Do you have any sunscreen? I probably have some samples in my purse right now. So it is a myth. People with melanated skin, we burn less as far as like, if we're out in the sun, it may take us longer to burn, but UV rays, they don't care about your skin color, and a lot of times, skin cancer looks different on us. So it's harder to identify, especially if you're not going to the dermatologist and getting a full body scan every year, every other year, then you may miss those signs. So pay attention to your skin. If there's any spot or mole that you think is on your skin, but it's changing, it's not going away after a while, go to your dermatologist, have a dermatologist. If you can have that. I know it is a luxury, but definitely to try to mitigate that, wear the sunscreen because the sun is the number one ager. The sun ages us. You'll see those
skin where people like, especially in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, sun worshippers,
Yes, they are out there and you're like, dang, we got, Magda from which they cut.
Something About Mary.
Yeah. How she was just out there, just a piece of leather, bacon, just dripping.
Spraying itself with sunscreen. What is it? Suntan lotion.
Just to keep it going. And I'm one of those women who loved to get a nice little tan.
Oh, me too.
I love some sun. I do.
I loved looking golden and bronzy, but I know now. I know better. And this is
fake tan.
Yeah, this is my color. This is what God wanted me to be. So I do my best with bronzing, like you say.
I'm a suntan at home.
Oh, but I wear like at the beach. I'm with those huge hats. People laugh at me. I don't care. I don't care. The sun ages you. And when you tell people, they're like, oh, okay. And especially for skin of color, if you have any kind of hyperpigmentation on your face, it makes it worse. So I'm a big proponent of sunscreen, and specifically tinted sunscreen, especially to help combat blue light. Our phones are emitting that blue light. The zinc oxide in there helps to, repel that. So there's some really sophisticated ones on the market now that have tints that match for different melanated shades. I love
it would be just chalky and ash.
Open casket shark.
Yeah. And you're like, oh.
And that time wasn't that long ago because it wasn't that long ago. So I'm a big proponent. Most of the time, I know you're a naturalista in your makeup, and I love the way you do makeup and make a more natural look, and I like that look as well. And especially because I'm acne prone, so I try not to wear a lot of makeup. So I want my skin to be clear. So tinted sunscreens are a big thing in my arsenal.
I was going to say, and I also think they are multi-purpose. Like you said, if you're not a big makeup wearer, but you want to look kind of cheaply, and I always tell my girlfriends this, and especially in the summertime, because it is a lot more trying to have to do a lot of layers of makeup. So little tinted moisturizer with sunscreen in it, it gives you a nice glow. It also protects. It makes it look like you've tried so that you're not having to put so much effort into it.
And did we know that you need to reapply sunscreen?
Not everyone knows that.
No one knows that.
People will be like, I put it on. Like,
especially if you're going to be outside. This sun is not the same sun we grew up with. It can't be.
Nope.
It can't be. This is not the sun I was running around the neighborhood in.
Nope.
So you need to reapply your sunscreen. There's rollers out there that you can put on over your makeup. There's powder, like Color Science has a powder brush that you can, dab on like a powder makeup.
Yeah, you suggested that Haruharu
Right.
One in a little blue, and you can get it from Amazon. All of these products that we're speaking about, I will list down below for you to have a link to check them out. But that Harajuku one, it was really good.
Right. I love that one too.
On vacation, and it can go over my makeup with no problem. The amount of makeup I have on, but it goes on, and you can reapply it. Like I'll be thinking about it, like I don't have no sunscreen,
right?
And put it right
exactly. You know, there's so many different avenues you could go to with sunscreen. The access is there. They're more sophisticated, you know, because I think a deterrent is the cast that it can leave on, especially on melanated skin. And I get it. No one wants to look like that walking around like Walking Dead. No one wants to do that. And I get it. But there's so many new products. You know, America, our filters aren't as sophisticated as some other countries, and Korean skincare and sunscreen is all the craze, and they have some, you know, versions out there that don't have the cast, but there's some American ones that don't have it either. And I love Revision Intellishade is one of my favorite ones. They're clear. That's one of my favorites. I've been using that one for years. Elta MD has a deep tinted now. That's it's like my product of the year. I love that sunscreen. I sell that sunscreen so much because people love it, because I use it in the treatment room as well. So there's so many great options out there. Hi, puppy.
Louie, you're not
He loves me.
I was gonna say, Luke, you're not a part of that.
He's fine. He's fine. That's my new homie. But yeah, I'm because too, like I said, the sun ages you, and if you're not having the proper protection, you're just fighting a losing battle. You know, black don't crack, but it can have a little creases in there. It can have a little wear and tear on it.
And if you don't take care of it, it will still crack.
It will.
I hate to tell people, like, if you're not hydrated and moisturized. So
right.
Let's tell people the difference between hydration and moisturize, because I used to hear a lot when I would do like consumer makeup, I would say retail.
For sure.
Makeup. People say, "Oh, I'm oily. I don't really need a moisturizer."
And that's a myth too. And it's one of those things where people with oily skin will scrub their skin, and you're telling your skin that you're dry and to produce more oil. So it's a vicious cycle. And there's sunscreen. I mean, it's not there are moisturizers out there that are specific for skin that is oily. And so one of the big things is, you know, when a client comes into me, we do a skin consultation and we learn what your skin type is. So once you understand your skin type, you know what kind of products to look for. You know, like, I don't need necessarily a heavy moisturizer, or I don't need that specific serum, or I don't need that specific wash. So that's one of the first steps. But just understanding your skin is going to help. It's going to go a long way, because, you know, a lot of skin is trial and error. You know, I hate to say it, and people want instant gratification, and I get it, but it's just not the name of the game. That's why managing expectations and, you know, determining what your goals are. What are your goals? But and to your point and to your question, dehydrated skin versus not hydrated skin, or you know, unmoisturized skin. So there are a lot of people come in my office are dehydrated. We're not drinking enough water, and you can see it. You can see it when you're pulling the skin and it's dehydrated. But as you get older, you're also losing moisture, you know, and losing collagen, you know, all those things. You're losing all of those things, and how to put that back into your skin. A lot of it's lifestyle too. A lot of it's lifestyle. But in the treatment room, in post-treatment room, when you're doing your at-home skincare, just ensuring you're having products that are hydrating. Even if you have oily skin, you still need to properly hydrate your skin. And there's different ways to do that via serums, or there's, you know, sophisticated moisturizers on the market as well that can help combat that. But treatments, especially in the office, will help that as well.
Yeah, I'm big on that, because I'm like even when I'm doing makeup, you can tell when someone's skin is so dehydrated, because even putting foundation on that,
right,
it sits and it crepes, and then it doesn't move the same. And then people are like, "Oh, I don't look good," and they're like, "I'm trying to fight a whole bunch of battles in this makeup application."
Doing your best. Doing your best.
Application of makeup isn't going to change your actual skin. So a lot of times I tell people, like, I can only do what
I'm presented with.
For sure.
So,
and people don't recognize that until they know. You don't know until you know. And a lot of my job is education. I love educating people on skincare, but I also love dispelling myths as well, or preconceived notions, because with time we evolve and we learn what works and what doesn't work. But a lot of times we're held steadfast to our old notions, and it's hard to dispel those.
So yeah, just use the stuff. You don't need nothing else. It got me through Calmate, oil of Olay, Noxzema, and and they were fine. And
no shade in Noxzema, no tea. So it works for somebody.
and it does. I was gonna say my mom never wore makeup. Her skin was great, but that was a different time.
It was a different time. There's
They
so
didn't have
much.
as many cars on the road.
There's so many free radicals outside, and that's another thing, like, having antioxidants in your skin, vitamin C's, and, things that help with the free radicals that's out in this world. And that's why it's important to wash your face and take care of your face, because all of those outside elements are compounded on top of your sunscreen if you're wearing it, or makeup if you're wearing it. And
what you're putting in your body, like a lot of times our foods are different now.
Absolutely.
And so it comes out, like I always will tell people when I would see, and I learned this years ago, that when you were breaking out in certain places, it's not so much that you have acne. It could be your hormones are going through something. There could be a stress. Certain areas in your face, when they break out, it's more hormonal than, oh, I have acne and it's a bacterial thing. No, it's your body doesn't know how to get rid of it, like testosterone. That's why you see it in the bearded area and you look like, oh, okay, I'm having all these breakouts along here. It's because your body is trying to get rid of things that it has too much of.
Absolutely. So I now suffer from hormonal breakouts. Every month, like clockwork, I know I'm going to get some form of breakout, and I hyperpigment no matter what. I don't pick, I don't probe, I don't prod. It's just my cross to bear. And dermatologist Tiffany Clay, Dr. Tiffany Clay, she made a post recently. I saw that some people are just prone to hyperpigment no matter what. But I'm lucky enough that I have the tools and I know how to manage it. It's frustrating, but it's just one of those things. Some people are more prone to that. So to your point with hormonal breakouts, I definitely, I work within the scope of my job, and there's some things that, you may need intervention from a dermatologist or from a doctor to kind of help you. There may be a prescription out there or a topical out there that can help. I'm actually going to Dr. Tiffany Clay soon in August, because I'm like, okay, these hormonal breakouts have been very consistent. What do we need to do? Because skincare goes its certain distance, and sometimes you may need some intervention, and that's okay too. Because some things I'm like, I'm sending hey, what's that mole? That looks different. Go talk to your doctor about that. Like, I'm like, that looks different on your face. Then, I know my clients' faces at this point. So, working in tandem with healthcare professionals is great as well, especially at this age, especially, he loves you.
It's okay.
It's okay. You want to learn about skin? You got good skin.
Yeah.
What is he in dog years right now? Maybe he's 50.
Yeah. He might be fabulous in 50 and beyond. You're 5.
Oh, no. He's not quite. I don't remember dog year math.
Yeah. It's not the same as girl math.
No. Maybe.
I think it's after 7, they start to age a year for 7 years. Okay. It's okay. He's spoiled. But on to the next question. Thank you, Lou, for making your appearance. One of the other things I wanted to ask you about when we were talking about lifestyle, when we're saying, hey, do you work out? You're looking at those things, like sometimes people have an overactive bladder.
Right.
Excuse me.
Glands or thyroid, all kinds of stuff. So, that manifests in a lot of times when I'm dealing with women in the 40, 50 perimenopause, menopausal range. A lot of times it's like under eye, dark marks under your eye, the neck, things like that. And I've noticed, like, hey, have you talked to your doctor lately? Is there anything, like little things that you may notice? And I will never diagnose. Obviously, that's not within my scope of my practice, but just like I care about you and your overall health. I don't want you to just come in here for skincare. If I'm noticing something like, hey, you know, we can only do so much with eye cream because that could be internal, something going on, or we can only do so much with skincare or modalities. That could be something internal going on. So I ask those type of questions in the consultation, like, are you drinking water? How's your bowel movements? You know, like what's going on? You know, you're because sometimes stuff that's going on, especially gut health. Gut health and biome health and all of that, you know, that can affect externally as well. Stress levels. Yeah. We know how cortisol the rears its ugly head, and that manifests because I have so many women like, I've never experienced this. Well, what's going on? Are you stressed? Or you got this going on? And it's a push-pull. I can assist with, you know, in treatment room and what we do in there, and you can assist with your post-care. But until you get certain lifestyle and smoking, I have some clients that smoke. No judgment. But I'm gonna tell you, you're restricting yourself and your vascularity if you're not, you know, and then you're wanting glowing skin. It's not realistic. I'm gonna be honest with you, but tactful. I'm just gonna try to manage your expectations of what we can accomplish together while combating these lifestyle things.
And that's what any professional should do, right? In this industry and any industry, to let you know where they can help you and where some of this is in your lap, and we got to do what we can. As much as I do dabble in all the skincare and I have my routines, that I'm not as consistent, but I have a routine. So inconsistency is my routine. But I do a lot of.
We're gonna meet you where you at,
and but I have good results, right? Being that I know when I'm falling off, and I can see it kind of quick, like, ooh, my skin looks a little dull. I need to get back in doing this. So what are some products? Like I hear salicylic acid a lot. I hear hyaluronics and like glycolic and retinol. What are some of those ingredients that anybody in our age group should be looking at?
That's a very good question. You know, at this age, we do kind of need a little bit more intervention. You know, just washing your face is not going to give you the same results as it used to. You know, incorporating peptides, ceramides, humectics, things that help with maintaining the water and the hydration in your skin. Helping, you know, niacinamide is a product that's in a lot of it's you know, you can see it over the counter. You can see it in a lot of products right now. And it's a vitamin B derivative that helps with overall skin tone and texture. It's a great, it's a great additive that you'll see quite a bit. I do love hyaluronic acids are great. They're all not created equal. There's some on there that's, you know, whatever. Some that are great, right? Some that are great, and that we do have natural hyaluronic in our skin, but as we age, of course, that declines as well. So that helps with the plumpness. So, you know, those are the things that you look for in youthful skin, is plumpness and, you know, dewy skin, and adding those ingredients into your routine can help. And you mentioned retinols, which is a vitamin A derivative, and they come in different forms. There's different kind of formulas. There's different strengths. There's different potencies, and just finding the one that works great for you. You know, I'm a big proponent of low and slow. A lot of times people are given like some tretinoin from the derm or whatever, and they're, you know, squirting in their hand every day, and they're like, ah. I've had clients
so scary and horror stories, or people who are have a lot of intrepidation,
right,
to using retinols because they're like, oh, that's too abrasive, it's too much for my skin.
And I had, you know, if you're working with a professional, they're going to give you tips to how to incorporate it into your skincare. I'm a low and slow proponent. I'm a one day a week for a week. 2 days a week for 2 weeks, 3 days a week for 3 weeks, 4 days a week for 4 weeks, until you can develop, you know, every day. And starting with a smaller dose. You don't have to go to, you know, 1% the first time. Start with a slow dose. But what's the reason? What's the purpose? So retinols help with cell turnover. As we age and as we get older, our cell turnover goes from 2 weeks, 14 days to infinity and beyond. And what does that mean? If our cells aren't turning over, we're not sloughing off that dead skin. Our texture isn't looking as great. We're looking more dull. We're not looking as effervescent and vibrant and glowy as we used to look. So those, vitamin A derivatives help slough that off. And it also helps with the little fine lines that start to develop on your skin that we get from living, that we get from smiling, that we get from, enjoying life, or frowning. So
Scowling.
It is scowling, right? It helps with that. So I am a proponent of that. There's controversy. Some people don't love it, and I think it's because they don't know how to properly use it. Right, misinformation. Using a pea-sized amount. I follow a derm, Dr. Shireen Idris, and she talks about how in this area usually gets more inflamed, and people in the flaky when you're using retinols. And she uses an eye cream, or eye retinol there because it's lower dosage, and she puts it there so it may not affect you as much. You may not get that super burning, peely, flaky sensation. Also, I like the sandwich method, putting a moisturizer on first, doing your pea-sized amount of retinol, and then putting another moisturizer. So sandwiching it in to kind of add a buffer and a layer of protection.
Okay, because I use like an oil, so I use the retinol cream and then an oil. So I should put a little barrier.
Yeah, you could put a barrier in that. And that way, a lot of people don't get to the promised land with it. They don't make it to the point where they're like, oh, I'm seeing results, because they don't want to deal with that. And that's another thing. Like, I try to tell my clients, anticipated reactions. This is what's going to probably happen. You're probably going to maybe even get some retinol uglies. You may, purge a little bit, and you may have to deal with that. And then once you get over those hurdles, you'll have success. But if you don't want to do it, you don't got to do it. It's an option. It's out there. It's been tried and tested. It's been around for a lot of time. There's so many sophisticated mediums now, so many great companies that have products that has other luxurious skincare within it. So it's not as harsh. So there's so many different options out there.
Okay, so talking about new skincare and the glass skin. What is this trend of glass skin? I hear it. My daughter-in-law is talking about it. My daughter actually has been using some Korean skincare that she says is her skin is beautiful right now. It's very clear. It looks very vibrant. What is the glass skin?
Glass skin is not what people may think it is. It's not like a bottle that's like, oh, I got glass skin in a bottle. It's kind of like a process. It's Korean skincare uses the principle, a lot of it is about hydration. And a lot of their products have hydration agents in there that gives you this glowy, dewy, glazed donut finish. So that's the glass skin that they're talking about.
Okay.
I enjoy several Korean skincare products. I'm just kind of getting into it. I like some of the toners, some of the little pads, face masks. I think it's pretty cool. It's just learning what products work for you. Can I please give a tip?
Yes. Yes.
I follow a lot of forums. I try to stay informed on trends and what's going on. And I see people order all of these skincare products and then just, I want glass skin today. I'm putting it all on at one time. And
everything that came in this box.
And then you'll have a reaction and you don't know. For me personally, I used a collagen moisturizer recently. The next day my face was so itchy. And for whatever reason, there was a product in there that didn't respond well with my skin. But if I hadn't used all these new things at one time, I wouldn't have known what it was.
So you're saying introduce yourself into one or two
yes.
products at a time to see how your skin reacts, or if it's even for you.
If it's even for you, because I like to do a little patch test on my neck. If I want it, I could test a couple things, just keep track where I'm doing it on the grid and see if I get a little itchy, scratchy. I gave myself a full-on fungal situation. My face was angry. And, I see that all the time. Like, I use this product. I think it's this one, or I think it's that one, but I used a bunch at one time. So if you're going to try to create that, because the Korean skincare process is like a 10-step process. And if you're buying all the products that someone suggests to you, definitely incorporate them low and slow. I love results. but I want to conservatively introduce things to your skin. I don't want to destroy your skin barrier in the process. However, there's going to be times where we're doing a modality, like microneedling or something like that. We have an anticipated response, or laser, you're going to be red or you're going to be inflamed. Those are anticipated responses. But if I'm doing a chemical peel on you for the first time, I'm going to start at a lower dosage, or I never treat new clients with a chemical peel. I need to see how your skin reacts to certain chemicals before we go all the way. So just keep that in mind. That's just a little tip when it's trying to achieve the glass skin effect.
I love all of this stuff. Like, I'm taking this on.
Good.
I go out and buy everything at one time and be like,
it makes sense because you want it to work immediately.
And I also want to be regimented. I'm a person of regimen. Like, it says you need all 10 of these steps, so I need all 10 of them.
But just patch it overnight and just see how it responds to you. It's gonna matter. It's gonna benefit you in the long run.
Okay. Talking about treatments and things that you do, what are some new treatments that you offer? Or, like, I know a couple of years ago it was microdermabrasion. Everybody was getting microdermabrasion. Mm-hmm. You could buy this at home and do your own microdermabrasion.
Right.
And, that was a big thing. And then now it's microneedling.
Right.
It's the LED lights. It's all of these new things get introduced to us. So what are some of the things that you found that you like and that you're using?
Microdermabrasion is still an available modality at some facilities. We don't have like a specific microdermabrasion machine. However, we have hydrofacial, which has tips on there that exfoliate. So that's what microdermabrasion was. It was an extra layer of exfoliation. But we have hydrofacial, which is a very popular machine that you exfoliate the skin and it incorporates the different serums into your skin. It's very hydrating. Great option for my clients. I love these hands. Chemical peels. I love chemical peels. Like I said, I took special training for skin of color and how to do chemical peels for skin of color because there are some nuances there. We can't just dump acids on our face. We can't just, use the strongest peel there is out there because it's probably going to either one, burn, or two, create hyperpigmentation, which defeats the whole purpose. Not always the case, but there are some outliers to that. But from what I understand and what I know from science and things like that, how you treat skin of color is building up method in order to make sure your skin is primed and ready for chemical peel. So people be like, I want a chemical peel today. I don't know. I don't know you yet. Yeah. I'm talking to your skin, not you. I'm talking to your skin. So I do love peels though. They're very effective. Microneedling, you brought that up. Microneedling is great because there's tiny needles that penetrate your skin. You are numbed.
This isn't the vampire.
So it's kind of the vampire is something where they take your platelets out and spin them and put them back into your skin while microneedling.
Sounds like a lot.
It can't, right, but the principle is like your rich platelets are going back into your skin, which has some great benefits. But we microneedle with serums and different things like that, but we don't do the spinning. However, I think it's a great return on your investment. I personally think it doesn't have that much downtime, and it's an effective treatment. One is not enough to really see results. I do say to do it in a series of at least 3, and I say, do that, and you're not going to see the changes overnight because what it does, it's going to introduce trauma to your skin and your receptors are going to be like, trauma, let's go to the surface and start over trying to produce this collagen and fixing some things that we're seeing. And so it takes time, but you'll see an immediate glow afterwards. But in about 6 weeks, you're going to see, okay. And it helps with fine lines and things like that too. So that's a modality that I do suggest for perimenopausal women, menopause women. That is something that is a great bang for your buck, in my opinion. We do have lasers. All lasers aren't created equal. We can't do certain lasers that are for vascular lasers like the BBL we can't do that laser because it burns skin of color. And it just is what it is. Maybe one day. But we were testing a new laser called Moxie in the office. I actually got that treatment done when we were testing it about 2 weeks ago. And I really think it helps some of the lingering hyperpigmentation that I had. So I'm hoping we're getting it. But it's a great new, a relatively new modality, the Moxie laser. But I love those, doing those things and incorporating those things. We in-house, we do have laser hair removal. We do have the YAG, which is for skin of color, because all lasers are not created equal. You need to understand, if you're getting a laser treatment, can this work for skin of color?
Okay.
Yeah, so educate yourself, ask those questions to your practitioner when you're going into their office.
Okay. So LED lights and
oh yeah,
masks, because I have an over-the-counter one that you can just order on Amazon.
Right.
Put the link in there. And I know you used it on me in the office, but it was a different light, and I know it's professional. Right. But are they a good thing to have, those LED lights, and what are the differences between them?
They have been around for LED lights. Has efficacy. It's proven to help. It's proven to help inflammation and redness in your skin, erythema. It helps to kill bacteria with the blue light. So there's a difference between the red light and the blue light. And understanding, if you're getting an at-home device, really researching, because the lights need to be powerful enough to actually work. You know, you don't want to just have, because you could have a red light bulb on your face, and that's not doing what you're thinking. It's not giving what you think it's supposed to give, as the kids say. But yes, I love LED treatment, especially post treatment in office. You know, you're kind of doing a lot of things to your face, squeezing, poking, prodding. So it's a great way to kind of help calm down inflammation. So I have an at-home one too. I have it at home one too. I don't think it was made for my face. I just had it on the other day. It presses down on my nose and my lips don't fit in the hole.
I was gonna say, it takes a moment to find that happy place, and I'm thankful that the one I have, the mask that I use by Vogue now, it actually has like an adjustable strap, and
mine has one too.
It does kind of like, I have a fuller set of lips.
I have a fuller set of lips and a wider nose. So I'm like, I don't think this was tested for me specifically, but we gonna make it do what it do, because I got it.
Exactly. I own it now, and it's gonna work today.
So yes, I love those
light
things.
is for inflammation, fine lines, and then the light is for acne.
Right, absolutely. And you can mix the lights too as well. It just depends on the device. Our professional grade one, yes, we can do both lights at the same time. So I enjoy that one.
I was gonna say, yeah, and yours is more like
a dome. Right.
It goes over, and I sat under. Yes, I enjoyed all of that, and that's why I was like, let me buy me something for the house.
Right.
I'm big on self-care. So,
and that's a great thing, because, you know, we talk about aging, and it is a privilege to age, right? Even though sometimes I look in the mirror, I'm like,
or I can't get up, and I'm sweating.
Yeah, your back hurt. My back ain't been the same.
That sweat, because I'm like, oh, I felt so good just a minute ago. Oh, now I'm not.
Right. But it is a privilege. But, you know, it comes with its things. But I don't think aging gracefully means giving up. I don't think it means throwing in a towel.
And just saying, okay, I'm 60 now, so it's no more. Louie
wants a hug. Here, Louie. Here. Okay, you happy now?
You're gonna be in that crack. And
don't do Louie like that. Don't do Louie like that. I'm kind of allergic to dogs, but you're not making me sneeze, Louie.
I was gonna say. Wait, come here,
he loves the animals. Love me. I don't know why. All right, Louie.
Yes.
Yeah. So I love all of those things. I love treatments. Even before I was in skincare, I was a treatment girl. If it was something to help my skin or make me feel better, I loved it. You know, and like I said, educating my clients. And there's something I don't know. I don't elect to know it. We can discover it and figure it out together. I'm not up on, of course I have a high level understanding of like the toxins, the neurotoxins. I haven't started any on myself, but when the time is right, I'm not opposed.
And that's all. I think it's all a matter of preference. You know, I don't want anyone to feel like, oh,
you have to.
I don't do that, or, oh, I have to now.
No, you don't.
Stage. if sometimes that's part of your character, it's
Right.
part of who you are, and you can embrace it the way you want to embrace it. If it bothers you, then take care of it. I have friends who've been getting Botox and fillers for years.
Yeah. And some people do it preventatively. They want to do it before, and that's they say the best way to do it before you get a permanent line. But if you don't want to do that, don't do it. We have a nurse practitioner in our office, Melissa, that does all the neurotoxins and the fillers and the Botox. So, if you have any questions about that, I'll be more than happy to ask her more information about that. So it's out there. It's an option.
It is. And I was going to say, I'm open to options. It's not my ministry as of right now, but who knows in 20 years?
You never know.
Or at 100.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, with, skincare is one level at this age that you want to incorporate, the neurotoxins like we're talking about, or even surgery. Like, to a certain point, we can't manage under eye fat, with skin. We could do our best, but if your goal is to have a complete, none of that, we're going to talk about eyelid surgery or something like that. Or, I'm going to give you a consultation to a surgeon that you can talk to about that.
Those are all options that are available to all women, and we should have those options.
For sure.
There's no judgment.
And we don't hate.
Nope.
I think women,
you feel comfortable with.
We talk about women like, oh man, she had a facelift. And they're like, but who cares? She looks amazing.
Yeah. Everyone was like,
girl, that doctor need a Nobel Prize. Yeah. Okay. She looks good
in person. So
she looks
one
good.
Of those things. If you are of a person who has that
means, then do your thing.
I'm telling you, please, I'm not going to judge unless it goes wrong.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, I think women, we have a lot of judgment on us. In
society,
and aging is hard. I'm not in my 50s yet, 41. But even like the slight changes that I'm starting to see, like I gotta dye my hair more, and I gotta, and it take me every morning I'll get out of bed like, ooh, did I get hit by a truck last night? What's happening? So it's hard. So when someone comes into my room, I'm very empathetic about that, even though I'm not at that particular stage yet, because I have women of varying ages and, my age beyond younger, but I do have a lot of women in their 50s coming into the office.
I would say this is where I think we start to really get very hyper-focused on us, because at this age, some of us are empty nesters.
Right.
We don't have to
trying to get that groove back.
Yeah, and if you're single, you're like, okay, I need to compete on a different level. I need to be able to be out here, which is a bad, it's how our society is set up. Right. I hate to say it. It's just the way like youth is forced on it. Right. But I'm here to say that aging is part of, like you said, it's a privilege. So the alternative is death. Not ready to do that.
No, not ready.
So I want to age gracefully, and I want to enjoy every bit of this aging. And some of this is superficial to somebody like, oh, I don't care about that. I feel good inside.
And that's perfectly
and you will project outside.
Right.
But when it can't happen all the way from outside, here we go. Let's get the skincare together. Let's get this makeup together. Let's get these clothes together. Let's dress for the body that we have now, not the body we used to have, and be comfortable in all those parts of your life that are now what you're embracing. Yeah. So I like to say at the end, like, give me the top 5 tongue twister, top 5 of, first one is luxury moisturizer.
We carry great medical grade products in office. Zeo Skin Health is one. They have a great daily power defense that I love. They don't consider it a moisturizer, but it's a great antioxidant, and it's something that you do, in your routine towards the end as kind of like a moisturizer, but it's not. That's one of my faves right there. It's a sophisticated product. Revision has their DJ night, and they have some great products as well that I enjoy. As far as like over the counter, there's some great stuff over the counter too. Roch Posay, there's different moisture, and understanding your skin type and knowing, like, we talked about, just because you have oily skin doesn't mean you don't need a moisturizer, but I'm more of a Sunscreen girl. I'm gonna talk you to death about wearing that sunscreen because I love you and I care about you. So I definitely love Elta MD's deep tinted. That's my fave. I love Revision's Intellishade clear. That's one of my faves, and I love some of the Koreans. You know, we talked about some of the Americans don't have the same filters as they have, and I love their products. And there's a lot on the market that you don't have to be casket ready sharp for, looking like Casper with the white cast. There's so many great ones. There's some that are not expensive. I use Trader Joe's. There's SuperGoop dupe, and there's SuperGoop if you want to go that route. There's so many products on the market now that you have access to, that there's no excuse for not wearing sunscreen. Wear the sunscreen. Wear the sunscreen.
That is her tip, her live by.
Right. Wear the sunscreen.
Regimen is make sure you put that sunscreen on. Sunscreen.
And wash your face.
Wow.
Wash your face.
So what tool that you can't live without?
Tool, my hands. My hands and even your hands. For instance, a lot of times we're not even washing our faces correctly. We're just kind of like putting it on there and she's okay. Yeah. You're making me sneeze a little bit though, but I love you. Making sure that you're emulsifying the product in your hand, warming it up, even sunscreen, warming it up in your hands before you're putting it on so it goes on properly. Really going into your face and scrubbing those channels and really getting in there. So your hands are a great tool. As far as like a modality that I love microneedling. I'm a big microneedling fan. Some people don't love dermaplaning. It's so satisfying to me. I love getting the dead cells and hair off people's face. Is my favorite. Please add dermaplaning to your services because it's very satisfying for me. That's a exfoliation, extra exfoliation that we do in office. I don't suggest you trying to do it on yourself. I know people do it on TikTok, but the scalpels that we use are so different from those razors. They're not getting there, and you're not understanding which angle to use. Go to a professional. That's why we got professionals. Yeah. It's okay.
I was going to say, everyone can't be a professional. There's a professional for it.
For sure.
Okay, so dermaplaning. I get that done. Yeah. You do different things on throughout.
We love mixing it up. I
was going to say, because certain times of the year, your skin is asking for one thing. And
absolutely. You may need the hydrofacial machine. You may need, you may need a peel. You may need all kinds of things different time of year.
So I suggest to everyone 4 to 6 weeks, find you a great esthetician. If you're not local to Atlanta to see Kiss, I would say find someone in your neck of the woods. I'm country now. Jersey girl got country. But find someone that you can trust, because this is a trust thing. It is just like a makeup artist. It's a trust thing to have someone see your skin. It's also like your doctor. It's like your dermatologist. It's like your gynecologist. You want to build up a rapport. Your hairstylist. People who see you on a regular can also understand when it's normal, when it's abnormal, and they can suggest to you things to do differently or how to come to a better agreement on that. So that is a big tip for me, to say, find you a professional. We can do a lot of things, like she said, to counteract or to even help.
For sure, because it's a partnership. I can only do so much.
Yeah.
In office, I do my part. You have to do your part at home. That's where I'm going to meet you where you're at. We're going to start with this, with a routine. We're going to try to be consistent as possible, because consistency is key. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't do it. So it's a waste.
Tell the people where they can find you on social media.
Well, I work with an amazing group of women and mentors at Restorative Skincare in Sandy Springs, which is just not far from Atlanta, off Roswell Road. And we have a cute little spa, so come in and see us. And you can find me on Instagram at Kissed Skin by Kistia, Kistia, kissed with an ED, and on the website restorativeskincareatl.com. My booking tool is on both on my Instagram and on the website. And for anyone that mentions this wonderful podcast, you will get 25% off on any of your treatments that you book with me. And I look forward to meeting you guys, seeing you guys. I'm passionate about this. I love what I do. And I'm so blessed. I love your skin. Well, you know, it's your inner glow too that comes out. So you're welcome.
And I receive it. So everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is one of many. So please keep.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you for joining me on my Fab 50s and Beyond. If you loved today's episode, be sure to follow, subscribe, and share it with someone fabulous in your life. Follow me on all social media platforms at The Makeup Socialite for more style, beauty, and life inspiration. Until next time, remember your best chapter is happening right now. Stay fabulous and continue to spread love and beauty.